Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So today we're going to take a look at a video just going over our 5.1, 5.7 chapter test. This is our review. I'm going to probably skip around a lot, so bear with me. I might not do every problem, so yeah, here we go. The first part here is you are trying to match up the graph with the correct equation down low. Okay, so my biggest hint to you guys is this. There's going to be graphs up top. Okay, well, which graph stands out different than the other two? The one here in the middle. Can you guys see how it's opening up? Since it's opening up, opens up. Alright, that's because there's a leading coefficient that's positive. So I'm looking over here, my three equations. Okay, so this is the only one that has a positive number out front. Therefore, I know the correct answer has to be B. And that can be my reasoning. Okay, the leading coefficient is positive. Leading coefficient positive. Only graph that opens up. Okay. Now you also could have said vertex form here. Vertex form. And the vertex is -2, -5. Alright, there's a multiple things you could do here. So B is taken care of. Now as far as the other two go, alright, easily this one stands out to me because this is intercept form. Okay, intercept form. And we always do the opposite. So the opposite of -3 and -2 is +3, +2. So if I'm looking at these two graphs, which graph hits at +3 and +2? Well, bingo, right here, +2, +3. Alright, so I know this is A because the intercepts are at 3, 0, and 2, 0. Okay, very nice. Which of course then leaves us with C. This is standard form. And you could write something like, if I did x equals -b over 2a, I get 0 as my x value for vertex. Okay, and you can see right here that 0 is my x value for my vertex. Something simple like that. If you're good enough for your reasoning, you're all good to go. Okay. Down here, this, okay, the woodland jumping mouse can hop surprisingly long distances given its small size. A relatively long hop can be modeled by y equals -2/9 x, parentheses x plus and minus 6, where x and y are measured in feet. How far can a woodland mouse hop? How high can it hop? Alright, well, this is actually in standard form. So if I would find, sorry, I apologize, intercept form. Okay, and if I find the intercepts here, this one's the one that stands out. It's 6, okay, because you set these each equals 0, x equals 0, x minus 6 equals 0. So 6, 0 is one of them, and the other one is 0, 0. What that looks like then, if I draw myself an XY graph, so my mouse is starting here, it jumps all the way over to 6, 0. Okay, so it goes like this. It jumps up in the air and it comes back down. Alright, so as far as how far can it jump, it can jump a distance of 6 feet. Literally the answer is given to us in the problem. Okay. Now, if I want to find how high it is all the way up here. How high, height. Okay. Well, guys, we're trying to find the vertex. What's between 0 and 6? Alright? Between 0 and 6 is 3. So what I can do is, I can take my calculator. Alright? I'm putting in here negative, parentheses 2/9. Alright? I'm just plugging in 3 for my x. Parentheses 3, close it, parentheses 3 minus 6, close it, 2 is my height. Okay, so my vertex is 3, 2, but what I'm after here is the 2 feet up in the air. That's it, alright? Like, it's not a very difficult question. You're really basically after the vertex, because think about it too. If this wasn't an intercept form, let's say this was in standard form, right? Okay. If you found the vertex and you want to know how far across it is, you can just double your x value and you get it. Alright? So a lot of neat things there. Pretty simple question. Nothing too crazy. Alright. On to the back. Sketch the following, the graph of the inequality. So what we've got here is y is greater than -2x squared plus 12x plus 2. Alright. They were asking us for AOS, vertex, some points over here. So let's take a look. This is in standard form. Okay, So I know I can do negative b over 2a. So right here I've got negative 12, because that's my b, divided by 2 times negative 2. So we're looking at negative 12 divided by negative 4, positive 3. So right away I have my AOS, x equals 3. Boom. Right? You just got 3 out of 3 points. Okay, so real simple. Now I'm building my XY chart. I'm putting 3 in the middle. Go back, go forward. Okay, so I'm taking my calculator now, right? And I'm just going to type in negative 2 parentheses 3 squared plus 12 parentheses 3 plus 2. So 320 I'm looking at, okay, which is my vertex. Boom. 3 more points. Okay. Well, if I want the other points, I'm going to change the 3 to a 4. Okay, 18. So if that's 18, this is 18. And then if I want 5, okay, this makes sense. Guys, make sure you're checking yourself if it seems a little bit off. Like these should be going down because it's a negative up front. That makes sense. Okay, so as far as my points go, I've got 112, 218, 418, 512. Okay, now lastly my sketch. Alright, so 112, I know I have to kind of ballpark this a little bit. 112, 218, okay, 320, 418, 512. Okay. Now, guys, this is greater than. So I'm going to go ahead and graph this. It's a dashed line, okay? Dashed line, very important. Now, we have to do a test point. Be careful, okay? Clearly this graph is very close to 0, 0. I mean, I'm not quite sure which side 0, 0 is on. So I'm going to test something like, I don't know, 0, 20. Why? Because it's way up here, all right? So if I plug that up here, plugging 20 in for y, 20 is greater than negative 2 times 0 squared plus 12 times 0 plus 2, gone, gone. Is 20 greater than 2? We're all shaking our head yes. Okay, so I know this point right here works, therefore I want to shade that side of it. So I'm shading the outside. Boom. Okay, all is well. Very nice. Now, it says, describe in words how the sketch for number 5 would be different if the equation were y is greater than or equal to negative 2x squared plus 12x. Okay, so the shading would be the same. Shading would be the same. However, my parabola would not be dashed, but would be solid. Showing that any point on the graph, showing that any point on the graph of the parabola works. Okay, cool, good stuff. Okay, so very, very nice. Now, if I take a look at number 7 is much the same. Okay, in fact, I'll just show you guys real quick this one too, how to get it started up. It's a little different because it's not in standard form, but this is in intercept form. Okay, so we're talking about intercept right now. So if I take a look, this one's a little bit different to get to, making my xy. I'm doing the opposites. Okay, because what we're doing here again is you're setting these equal to 0. And then x minus 4 equals 0, x equals 4. So negative 6, 0, and 4 is 0. Okay, well, those are 2 points. That's awesome. Good stuff. But I want to find what's in the middle. So I can do negative 6 plus 4, and divide that by 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Alright. Now, if I plug negative 1 up here, negative 1 plus 6 is 5. Negative 1 minus 4 is negative 5. Multiply them together, negative 25. Okay. They do want another point here. I know I showed you guys in class. Just give me one of each example, but just for the sake of showing you guys the other points, go back 1, go forward 1. If I plug a 0 in here, 0 plus 6 is 6. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. Okay. Well, let's make sure we mark all the stuff down. AOS, x equals negative 1. 3 points. Vertex, it's the one in the middle, negative 1, negative 25. Okay. Let's see here. First point. Well, I can just start putting these points down. Negative 6, 0. Negative 2, negative 24. 0, negative 24. 4, 0. Okay, now as far as my sketch, okay, negative 6 zeros back here. 4, 0. Okay. Negative 1, negative 25. I know I'm just ballparking this, so I apologize. Negative 1, negative 25, I'll say is right here. And then I'll say these ones are right here. I know my graph is all screwed up because it's all not to scale. We're talking about less than or equal to, so it's going to be a solid line. Okay. If I do a test point, here I can test 0, 0 because it's in a good spot. Is 0 less than or equal to, if I plug a 0 up top here, 0 plus 6 is 6. Okay. 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Well, we just did it over here, actually. I know it's negative 24. Is 0 less than or equal to negative 24? No. False. So I'm not shading this. I'm shading everything else. Okay. Boom. Now, this one's a little trickier down here for the reflection one. In your own words, describe what will be different if the equation where y is greater than negative quantity x plus 6, x minus 4. So the only thing that's changing is there's a negative out front, and the less than or equal to is changing to a greater than. First, my parabola would be dashed. Okay. Second, my parabola will be flipped. Because of the negative out front. Okay. And lastly, because the less than before we shaded below, greater than we're going to shade above. And third, greater than we shade above. Okay. So that's a good place to end for right now. We just went through 8 problems on this. As I mentioned earlier, okay, there's a lot more problems on this compared to what's on your test. Okay, so I will make a second video up describing the other problems, and then we can take a look at it. Make sure you guys all do very well on this test. As always, keep up the good work, and good luck. We're all counting on you.